Hello, everybody. We are the Geeks and the Janets. I am Menzo, this man forever co-host Jum, and today we start our Valentine's Day lineup. Well, the English or like the Western side of it first, which we usually do first, with Before Sunset, another classic that is celebrating a big anniversary this year. I won't say how many years, but yeah. Oh, he is frozen in shock.
Really? I'm old. I'm old. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, homie, if you can do the math again,
Yeah, it is definitely double.
2004 to 2024. Yes, we know. We're 20 years old.
But yeah, another adventure with Celine and Jesse, and this time you find out that their promise of seeing each other in Austria didn't pan out. Instead of 6 or 5 months, it took 9 years, and you're like, wow, that's a lifetime of experiences.
Yeah. And, like, of course, they've changed a lot. Um, they have this whole book signing in France. Jesse wrote a book that's somewhat a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much inspired about that night. The first movie, he turned it into a book, and he runs into Celine, who's watching from the side as he describes the entire plot of his new book.
Like,
Oddly enough,
he basically retells the story of the first one, and again we have another short movie that's short and sweet, and like it kind of feels the same, but at the same time there's this feeling of like, oh man, if only we met each other like as we planned in like 6 months. And you find out that poor Jesse did go back as planned, while Celine had to take care of a funeral for her grandma. But poor Jesse was like, well, shit, fuck.
Yeah, got stood up, spent $2,000 on a trip, and it is a bit rough. I love the difference between this movie and the first one, where the first one, imagine the possibilities. You know, that's the entire story. Like, if they become a thing, like, imagine how great their life would be, because they are so alike at the same time, very different, and it complements each other in many ways. But now when they come here, it's like, what could have been?
Yeah.
And that's the entire walk. They're just updating each other. They're just, like, hey, how have you been? What you've been doing for the past 9 years?
It's like, that's such a weird thing. Like, you plan to meet each other in like months, and then months becomes a year, and then a year becomes almost a decade, and you're like, how have you been? You're like, where do I even start? I went back to Austria. You weren't there, but that's fine. Under completely understandable circumstances. But even Celine's was like, I wonder what would happen if I did go. If my grandmother passed away like a few months later or a few months earlier, and I was able to
make a few days before. Yeah. It is a bit tough. And I was like, yeah, it's a shame for like a miss on that possibility, but at the same time, you do have responsibilities.
Yeah.
And you have priorities. And I kind of understand Celine's case here.
Yeah.
And they try to like they're at the cafe, and then they're just trying to catch up with each other, and you find it's been 9 years.
Yeah.
She's been with other guys. He's been with other girls.
Jesse has a family now, and although it's not going so well, but he's sticking around for the kid, and you're like, oof, Jesus.
Yeah, and what's even crazier is that we find out at the end of the movie, their last few conversations before the movie ends, he's not happy. He's not the love isn't there like how he was with Celine that night. But it's so weird because you can interpret this in so many ways.
Yeah.
It's because are you not satisfied because you're thinking of what could have been, when what could have been might have ended the exact same way?
Right.
And like that's my take on like his entire situation where he has this whole fantasy while Celine is kind of, living her own life, not really ready for that kind of love yet. She's
Yeah,
very transparent about it too.
yeah, and like you're just like yeah, you have all these imaginations of what could have been, but what it could have been leads you to the exact same spot that you are right now, where you're just sticking by for your kid's sake and hoping the kid doesn't notice, and you're like,
Yeah,
it's a tough thing to quantify. Um, Going a bit to the technical aspects, I do like that. I don't know about the last movie, but like I do like that these two movies like have a time limit, and there's something at stake of like it's either we have to again go our separate ways or be like, you know what, I am staying this time. I also love the fact that all these movies you can tell that there's no, it literally lives up to the title of before sunrise and before sunset, because you can tell the time of day and you're like, you can tell that there's no magic, there's no lighting, there's nothing, it's just natural lighting that
yeah.
literally talks, and lets the scene talk for itself, and you're like, oh, I like this, especially the boat scene or the sunrise, yeah,
Yeah, the
sunset,
sunset.
sunset, thank you. And you're like, god damn, it's such a beautiful movie. Not only is it nice to listen to and have these deep conversations of either what could have happened or like something like religion or anything else, but like it's nice to look at too. For like such a low budget, I think the budget is like in the millions, but like it's like single digit.
Yeah, and I love the dynamic between them. Is that Jesse kind of is stuck in the past.
Yeah,
Like you could very much feel that when he saw Celine, he immediately will kind of went back to. I don't know what he was like before he met up with Celine, but like he tried to rekindle something that was in Vienna
yeah,
here in Paris. Well, Celine is a little bit more jaded, I have to say.
yeah,
She's been through some shit. She has come and gone when it comes to relationships. She has served her time for like countries that needed help.
yeah,
She was part of the Green Cross, and yeah, and it was like clearly there's a divide in like who has moved on, or like who's kind of still in the past. Well, I did find it a bit creepy. Well, when they had that talk of like, oh, what if it's our last day? And he was talking about like sleeping with her, and he was like, oh, what if you're like about to die right now? And he's like, why won't you just take me on that bench? And he
pulls her in,
pulls her to the bench. And I was like, yeah,
right? You're like, that's a no.
that is a no. Yeah, like I'm cool. No, I know for a fact that does not work for any other girl unless unless they're already your partner.
Uh, but yeah, you feel bad for Celine because you hear she says that like, ah, I think after Jesse there are like there were a bunch of others, but like after they break up with her, they get married, and she's like, what am I? What am I then? Am I just the middle
Yeah,
person that happens to be the passing until you find someone else to get married? You didn't even ask me. Like, I don't know if I would say yes, but like it would been nice to been asked, and you're like, damn. Yeah.
yeah. What was that thing that she was talking about with like the people in Green Cross who never really wants a recognition. They just really want help. I remember that one certain dialogue kind of hit those. I like that conversation.
Yeah, it just shows where life has taken Celine and Jesse, where Jesse's. You feel like Jesse has been like. You're writing his book, but like. He hasn't been on these like grand save the world adventures that Celine has been on to like help people in need, whether it's war torn or poverty stricken countries. And you feel like Celine's life has been growing, and Jesse's still like. Yeah, as you mentioned, like, still like. Oh, what if we met in Austria? Well, Celine has been like everywhere in the world trying to make it a better place. Well, Jesse's still in the same area that he's been for 9 years. And you're like, oh,
And yeah, and I love that story that she gives, where she kind of makes the entire like Red Cross, Green Cross, whatever charity you would like to think about, and kind of gives it a reality check where one village was just trying to get pencils to another.
Yeah.
That's what all they were trying to do. It's not like a grand thing where water, food. No, just a common tool like pencils. Like you could see where like how just this simple thing is such a big task for her already. Like and it's not as grand as like food or water. It's just pencils. Yeah, you can tell that it took a lot out of her.
Yeah.
Again, she has a very somewhat of a jaded mindset to it.
Yeah.
When it came to this movie.
Yeah, you can tell that she went in there like, I'm gonna save the world, but like she was met with the reality of like, we just need basic goods. We need water, we need food, we need educational tools, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was met with reality, and you're like, again, you just look at Jesse and you're like, you've really been in the same spot, haven't you? All these years.
Yeah.
Now that's why I do like the conclusion of this movie. It ends in a very big cliffhanger, but like you can figure out like what's gonna happen at the end. Like it doesn't be spelled out for you. Oh.
Yeah, DT, why can't you fucking sport? Jesus.
But yeah,
I'm gonna send this out as a message to all the Autobots in there.
they're censoring you. Oh no.
Because there's some shit. If you see how horrible the fucking video, right, like if you see how horrible the connection is, yeah, this is the quality you get. It's not lightning fast speed. DT. Fuck you and everything you stand for.
Anyway. Oh god.
Broadband as. Yeah, I don't care. Be angry, PLDT. Fuck you.
But yeah, it's a pretty excellent ending, I would say. Jesus Christ. PLDT, get your fucking shit together.
Yeah, I know, right, man? Jesus. But yeah, like I do like the conclusion of this entire movie, where she plays the guitar. It's up to you for interpretation. Was it written for him, or did she just do it for any other guy?
Yeah.
You know, and it's such a beautiful song. Like, what was it called? Like something waltz.
Let me play you a waltz.
Let me play you a waltz. And I love that.
Yeah.
I really do. And then it just ends there.
Yeah, she puts on a record and she's like, "You're gonna miss that plane." And he's like, "I know." And then black title screen. And you're like, "Oh, that's the end." Oh man.
Yeah. So, well, I'm guessing from the third fucking movie, it doesn't work out.
Oh man, I hope it does. We're so invested at this point. But I do like how realistic these movies have been. These are the most realistic romantic movies I've ever seen in my life, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's nothing too Hollywood. There's nothing too squeaky clean. It's just two individuals falling for each other and going through the tribulations of life.
Yeah. And it is a shame that Ethan Hawke's character is in that situation when his entire interaction with Celine I kind of disagree on, because he is married.
Yeah, you're like, you are spoken for, sir. What do you mean I know? Your family's waiting for you on the other side of the world.
You're right.
But then again, you're like, if you are in an unhappy situation, would you really want your kid to see that? To see it just fall apart to shit, and God knows what happens next.
Yeah. For sure, that's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a very excellent movie. Just overall realistic. Even the effects are realistic, and you're like, damn. And I hope, for the sake of these characters, what was it? before midnight pans out well for them. I really hope so. If this video does well, maybe we'll do that again this year, or
Yeah.
at least by the end of the year. But yeah, what you're waiting for before sunset?
Uh, not gonna lie, I'll give this one a solid 8 out of 10. Like it's such a good look on life, and it shows both sides of like it doesn't have to be just this is the guy's side, this is the girl's side. It's not like it could be anybody's side, it could be vice versa, or it could be on the same fucking person.
Yeah.
You know, like one grew up, went around the world, experienced the world. The other one is still in Vienna, and it is a bit tough. It is a tough like situation. One regrets his decisions in life. The other one is highly proud, but it turned her into it's not like it's not her anymore. You know,
Yeah.
like she has grown.
Yeah.
She's a completely different person than she was when she was in Vienna. When she had, as she said in throughout this movie, she had so much hope. When she would read the book, this person had so much hope, and was so optimistic. And that person's gone at this point. And yeah, it just shows like the times, like the waves of time
Yeah.
hitting everybody, and it just changes anyone.
Yeah, 9 years will do that to you. If you go on Celine's path, you're like, I can't recognize the person you are. And whether that's a good or bad thing, you are definitely a different person. I've experienced that throughout life, and I'm like, damn, that is a real thing. Damn, PLDT, you're making this video longer than it has to be.
I don't know if you heard my PLDT rant, but yeah.
All I said is you're making this harder than it has to be, PLDT. Oh god. But you know what? From my book, I'll give this movie a 9 out of 10. It's a very beautiful movie. Very, very deep and filled with excellent conversations about life and where life can go. Whether you're still stuck in the past or you move forward. Oh god. But yeah. That's we both, as you can see, even though Jomer's frozen, it's we highly recommend this movie. So
without me, don't you?
what?
I was like, don't you fucking dare end the episode without me.
But yeah, anyway, good movie, great movie, classic for a reason. But yeah, that's been our video for Before Sunset. And before his internet goes bye-bye, I'll say, if you like this video, please give us a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments and reaction to trailers. And Spotify to hear us on the go. And the video, I'm Zoda's voices on TikTok. Where can I find you?
You can find me at JomJuM_ on Instagram. This is my account.
And until the next video, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.